if I was really giving anyone advice on losing weight, you have to first cultivate compassion for yourself and stop feeling guilty and shameful about where you are right now, and accept yourself for where you are right now. That's a big one. This is not a place that you're gonna be permanently, but this is who you are right now, and you are worth your own love and care. And welcome back to Healing Motherhood. So I'm outside today. My toddler's outside playing with his little water table, so I figured it's a beautiful day. Why not make a video? I don't have any other time, so. So this is gonna be the first part in a series of videos that I talk about kind of how I changed my lifestyle and, bless you, and my relationship with food, and how I lost basically 55 pounds. And when I was trying to sit down and like really think about how I did that, because it was such a culmination of things, and people are always asking me like, how did you lose the weight? How did you lose the weight? Like, that's a very specific question, but it's not exactly something I can give an answer to very easily. Where's our bug? I've been hesitant to say anything because I just don't support dieting. Dieting to me is silly and not sustainable, and just, I think, more detrimental sometimes when the intentions aren't really clear, and I'll kind of get into that in this video. So I did kind of do a diet, but I don't want to be pushing any kind of diet because everyone has a different body type. Everyone has things that work for them specifically that don't work for other people. And I am a licensed nurse, but I do not give any medical advice. So please ask your doctor before you change your diet, obviously. But what I really whittled it down to was becoming conscious of my eating and what food I was putting in my body and for what reasons I was doing all of these things. As we, move along in our busy lives, eating is kind of just like pushed to the wayside. Like, you don't really think about eating because it's something so unconscious, something we've been doing our whole lives, that it's just like a part of like life, and we don't really analyze it. We don't reevaluate it, that's for sure. When I first started to change my food intake, I first just started to watch myself. I first started paying attention to the reasons that I was eating. And this also coincided with a part or a time in my life where I was very depressed, kind of at a point where I was like, I need to do something about this. I had been going to therapy and stuff, but I just started realizing that I was doing so many things in my life without thinking about it, just because I felt like I had to or whatever. And so I started paying attention to my habits and like really what the heck was I doing with food. And I started realizing that the amount of food I was eating was too much. The times I was eating my food were wrong. I was eating really late at night, like 3 a.m. I was like piling in the food. Eating emotionally from anxiety and from depression. And that's why I'm also really hesitant in telling people, oh, like, this is what you should do to lose weight. Because it's so mentally, your mental health, your ability to care for yourself and care about yourself is the only way that you're going to actually make a lasting change in your life. And so that's why I made this channel as like a resource for people who don't know what self-love is or self-acceptance, or don't even know how to start doing that. So I don't want you guys to take what I say right now about what I was eating and how I was eating it as like a map as exactly what you should do, because it worked for my body, but it might not work for yours. In the beginning of when I first started to try to lose weight, because when I did first start, I was like, you know what, I just need to change my eating habits. I'm getting up there. I believe I weighed 188, and this is after 3 pregnancies. I have 3 kids, and my youngest, who is making a mud pile, he's 2.5. So I was like, what, a year postpartum, and I got my tubes removed. And after that, like that month after I had my surgery, I started to change my eating habits. So what I first started doing was, because after I had surgery, I didn't eat for such a long time because I had such bad gas. They blow you up like a balloon. My portion size or the amount of food I was wanting to eat went down. And so that kind of kick-started a weight loss, like random weight loss. So I lost like 10 pounds after my surgery. So it's kind of just like nice to see 10 pounds off. And I was like, you know, maybe I should like try to lose weight. So my intentions were just to lose weight, really. And then I kind of, as I started to like kind of evaluate eating, I kind of regressed a little bit, which I think everyone does when they start thinking they want to lose weight. I definitely regressed. And I started eating a little bit more. But at the same time, I was going through a lot of anxiety and a lot of like spiritual stuff, really. I had a bit of like an awakening. I was also having health issues. A lot of stuff going on. If you do want to know how I changed my life spiritually and emotionally, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be talking about that way more as well. So I changed portion sizes in the beginning. I just kind of like started cutting down on what I was eating, and I just started paying attention to like the reasons that I was eating, and I was doing a lot of emotional eating, cutting down on sugar because I was really addicted to sugar. And I also had some health issues that I was dealing with. I had a fatty liver. They discovered that a little bit before my surgery. This is like a year and a half ago, I believe. And then I have a bleeding disorder that I discovered in the last year. I have von Willebrand type 1, which is not that serious of a bleeding disorder, but it is genetic. My mom has it too, she found out, lovely. So I had some health issues. Also, I had a really bad infected wisdom tooth that caused this trigeminal nerve pain that I was like going through. This is like 6 months after my surgery. I may share that story someday, I don't know. And basically when I first started to lose weight initially, it was from portion sizes and just honestly trying to become more conscious of what I was doing when I was eating, why I was eating, how much was I eating, when did I stop eating, was it because I was full or was it because I was done stuffing my face? And I think a lot of us do that. I would order like way too much food. I would put way too much sugar in my coffee, like knowingly that it was not good for me. But just, I didn't care about myself, I guess, is really the point. Trying to cultivate enough compassion for myself, which is, if I was really giving anyone advice on losing weight, you have to first cultivate compassion for yourself and stop feeling guilty and shameful about where you are right now and accept yourself for where you are right now. That's a big one. Accepting yourself for who you are right now, and that this is not a place that you're going to be permanently, but this is who you are right now, and you are worth your own love and care. That was a big thing. And so that's what I'm talking about when I say emotionally and spiritually. That was really the main change. As far as diet goes, I did actually do a high fat, high protein, zero sugar diet. And this was supported, I guess, kind of by my doctor, but I'm a nurse. I feel like I have my best interest in mind. I did my research and I started to do the diet in my own way. So I slowly introduced it. It was not like a day one, I'm gonna just cut out all sugar. I tapered off sugar. I highly recommend tapering off sugar if you have a sugar addiction at all. If you just stop eating sugar, you will most likely be eating sugar again in the next day and a half, because it's just like, it's like heroin. If you look up studies about what sugar is, it's literally an addictive drug. And I could attest to that because I was addicted to it for like my entire life. I would probably go through a 3-pound bag of sugar like every month. That's how much sugar I was putting in my coffee. But anyway, to the point that I had scarring on my liver because I was eating so much sugar. Luckily I didn't have diabetes yet, but I probably would have ended up with it because my mom is type 2 diabetic. So definitely would have ended up being me. Anyway, it was as a culmination of things. So like I said, I slowly tapered off sugar, and as I tapered off sugar, I slowly introduced good fats into my diet. So I changed the cooking oils that I was using. I looked into what cooking oils were the best. I started following this girl named Becca Bristow. I'm going to link her channel in the iCards and I'll put it in the info. Becca Bristow, she is an actual nutritionist and I highly recommend following her. She's where I found out about conscious eating. So yeah, I got a lot of my information from her, but I did switch all of my cooking oils to avocado oil and coconut oil. I now only buy organic everything, basically. If it's available organic, I buy it organic. The only exception is sometimes, like chicken, I'll get the antibiotic free or whatever, because sometimes it's just too damn expensive. Meat in general is pretty expensive organic. But I looked into what it meant to eat organic and what it meant to not eat organic, because I really just never understood it before. I had a lot of resistance toward healthy eating, and I think that's something we all have, and it's something we kind of have to peel back in layers, and that's why I say make really small incremental changes, because if you don't do it that way, you're never gonna sustain it. I have a lot of prejudices against people who eat healthy. At least I used to. I used to think, why does it matter if it's organic? I used to think people were just like prissy or whatever. I had a lot of indoctrinated kind of views on healthy people. Western society, at least, is indoctrinated with unhealthy eating and kind of not really paying attention to your body. And that's another part of conscious eating, is paying attention to not only eating, not only feeling full, not only why you're eating, but after you eat, how do you feel? We don't even think about cause and effect half the time anymore. We have stomach aches, we're bloated, we haven't gone to the bathroom in a couple of days, or we're going to the bathroom every 5 minutes, and we aren't paying attention to any of those things because we don't talk about it in society. No one wants to talk about their poo. No one wants to talk about digesting. No one wants to talk about, you know, those sort of things with people, usually. I grew up in a home where I didn't share it and I didn't care about it, and I didn't even want to know I did it. I was like ashamed of my own body. That's a whole nother video. But because of that, it's like we lost the ability as humans to eat something and then realize we shouldn't have eaten that thing because we felt bad afterward. Just becoming very aware of what foods make you feel bad. And like I said, I looked into what organic eating meant. And if you really look it up and see the reasons for buying organic vegetables and fruits, if your problem is price, because my problem was price, but I've realized over the last year that there is very easy ways to balance your grocery budget, to calculate in more for buying things that are organic that cost just a little bit more. You can cut out things that you bought before that maybe you really didn't even need to be buying in the first place, i.e. snacks, chips, processed foods that are like of no value nutritionally. There comes a time eventually in a process of cleaning up your eating that you realize that spending a couple more dollars to buy the organic vegetables and avoid the pesticides and like the crappy feeling that you get from those pesticides, because there are links that these pesticides can affect your mental health. Anyway, there's like endless studies that you can look it up. I used to have blocks against eating healthy and just getting in shape because I was honestly jealous of people who were able to have the discipline to do it. And what I just found out was that those people who have the discipline are just A, making a decision that they care about themselves enough to eat healthy, and B, have seen how good you can feel when you eat healthy. It's so hard to see from the other side when you're addicted to sugar, or you're really just emotionally eating because you're not dealing with your feelings or your problems or whatever. And I am not saying that if that is you, or you identify that as you, that you should be ashamed in any way. In fact, I feel the exact opposite. I feel that we should be accepting of ourselves and love ourselves for who we are in this moment, despite our flaws. Not loving ourselves even though we have flaws, but loving ourselves because we have flaws, and loving ourselves enough to make a change in our own lives and make lasting changes that will actually improve our quality of life. And what I tell my husband all the time, because he always gets on me like, whoa, Ashley, the house is really clean. Or whatever I'm doing that's like kind of a little overboard, which I tend to get a little overboard nowadays. I just tell him, you know what, I'm raising my standards. We need to raise our standards for ourselves. We need to decide that we are worth it. I used to think that people with like a super clean, organized house who had their crap together more than I did were just, you know, doing their best, trying to live their best life. And I now realize that I'm worth that too. I know as moms, it's really hard. I also buy fast food on occasion. We eat bad sometimes. I am not, that's one of the biggest things actually. I do not restrict myself from anything. If there is food that is presented in front of me and it looks delicious and I want to eat it, I will eat it. Not saying you're on a diet, not saying you cannot have anything. And the reason for that is, or at least what I found, was not restricting myself. I didn't crave anything. I didn't have this feeling of deprivation that I had to fill the hole. which I think is really what happens when you diet. It's just like, it ends up being a yo-yo effect. You deprive yourself and then you want to go overboard because you've been deprived. But yeah, so I guess that's the intro to conscious eating. I kind of blabbed a lot. I hope you guys got some useful information out of this video. I'm gonna be doing some paint with me videos, time lapses of me painting because I paint a lot now. I am planning on making one video a week about nutrition and weight loss, one video a week on healing and trauma healing and depression and anxiety. And then I'm going to make a third kind of miscellaneous video, which may just be painting and music, or maybe it'll be painting, music, and me talking about something, or maybe a vlog or whatever. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see from me, and I will try to make it happen. I have 2 more weeks off of summer. If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments down below and I will respond to you. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.